Alright, so to start out our session today, we're going to do some simple targeting, and we're going to work on matching some steps while we do that. Oh, he's being extra sweet today and seems extra willing to connect. You got an itch there, bud? Seems like his ear's a little bit itchy. I've never seen wiggling lips for scratching an ear, so that's super cute. Alright, back to what I was saying. We're going to work on matching steps a little bit. I see him looking back this way, so I might just... Seems like he's a little leery of that side of the pin for some reason. Now, what we're doing now with the targeting and walking to work on leading is that as we're walking, I'm going to click for the forward movement, not for his nose actually touching the target. Okay, so this is going to help us when we translate these ground cues into riding cues. And this is another reason why I like doing all this kind of work without relying on pressure from the lead rope, because now we're creating cues that we will be able to transfer to the saddle from the ground without losing understanding. Walk. Walk. Oh, we got distracted by some poop. That's okay. It's actually pretty warm out today, even though there's all the snow on the ground. Maybe I should not have worn a beanie. Okay, he's gone off to go investigate the corner over here. Might just see if I can catch his attention. I'm just going to match steps with him. This is some good connection work here. Seems like he's thirsty. He's heading over to the water trough. Get something to drink. And trying to get Miss Denny's attention again. Wow, should have worn some sunglasses too. Can hardly open my eyes out here. He's still getting some water. All right, now here we go. He's explored, he's got some water. Now he should be ready to go. Weird place for an itch. Right above his hoof. Alright, so there's our connection piece for this session. We matched steps. He said, I want to go check this out. So I matched steps with him over there. And then he said I would like some water. So I matched steps with him over there as well. We matched steps. And we're coming all the way back over here. Good. And today again, we're just going to start with some simple touch. And we're now beginning to work down those back legs. I like to save those for last because you hear a lot of stories about people getting kicked, and understandably, you're touching the horse's weapons back there that they use to protect themselves in the wild. And so I don't think there's any problem with waiting, provided that you don't have any major hoof issues going on. These guys are out in the pasture, and they've got lots of rocky areas, so it does pretty good at keeping their hooves naturally trimmed down to a good length. And so I'm not too concerned about taking a while, taking my time to get him comfortable with me fiddling with those back legs. But now's the time. Oh, we got some really itchy ears today. Oh boy. Can I itch in there? No? Okay. Okay, that was a good example there. I put my finger inside of his ear and he jerked away, which is a clear no. But then he brought his head right back over to me to continue scratching his ear. So we didn't spook him away by trying something new, but he said no, and that's completely okay. Okay, so we'll move to the back over here. Good. Lazy boy. Okay, let's see. Wrong side, buddy. Let's try that again. Good. Lazy man wanted me to pick it up that time, so I just lifted it a little bit. Let's see if we can do this again. Good. Good job. Good job. And his eyes are almost closed. Okay. Let's try this side. I'll take that. He's just such a sweet boy. So excited to take him out and pony him when he's ready, and then get some first rides going in here. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to take you guys along for that entire journey. All right. Okay, can we try that again? Can we try that again? Good. Now, that was a perfect example of him trying to find the right answer. So he just barely picked it up, but I could feel he had a lot of resistance. So he wasn't actually freeing his foot and shifting his weight and picking it up. So I stayed with him, and then he tried to back up. So I just followed along. And then I asked again, And what we got then was him standing perfectly still and lifting that front leg just like we want. Man, this guy's head has never been so itchy. Yeah, does it feel good? Okay. And now we're going to work on a little bit of me being higher than him. Let's see what he does here. I'm not close to him yet. I'm at a pretty good distance. There, his head drops. I'm going to reward for that relaxation. You see his head raise when I come up here? Wow. Beautiful. I wasn't even asking. Awesome job. And he's already lining up before I even ask and before we're even ready for that. So when we get ready to sit on him for the first time, he's going to be extra ready. And that's a good thing. Good. Now we do need to do this from both sides. There, I'm putting a little weight on him. Notice his head raised that time, but I'm not sure if it's because I put weight on him or because I was talking while I was up there. So we're going to do that again and see. He's still looking a little tense, so I might just wait here for him to relax. And we'll reward for that relaxation. All right. Yeah, so definitely that little worried moment he had there was because I was talking up there. Let's see, I'm going to ask him to target the side over here. He thought he's supposed to move. Well, he didn't get scared about that, so that's good. All right, well, since he's already moved, we might just ask him to come up on this side. Good. Notice he put himself a little further away on this side than he did the other. With the distance between him and I is a little more, so I'm just noting that he might be a little bit less comfortable on this side. And I might just go ahead and scratch his ears while I'm up here. Oh gosh, he's just loving that. I don't know if you guys could see if I'm blocking him. Here. Good. This guy almost does so much better without any ropes or anything. Oh, he's got a little knot up here. Is that a bite? Oh, it must be because it's itchy, huh? Oh, yeah. Itching your horse from the mounting block is always a good thing. Oh, that's the spot, huh? Because you're really creating positive associations with you being up here. If you hop on your horse every time you take him up to the mounting block and you make him do a lot of hard work and he's panting and sweating and you run him and everything is hard and he gets frustrated, he's not going to want to line up at the mounting block in the future. But the inverse of that is making the mounting block a really positive experience. So that they have that in their mind whenever you ask them to line up the next time. Good. He's doing very good on this side. I didn't even work on this side. I maybe worked on this side twice. Before our 3-month break. Hi. He wasn't too sure about that. You're okay. You want to try that again? Okay, let's see if we can line him back up. He turned around and looked at me and was like, no thanks. Very good. No hesitancy to line back up. That's a great sign. He did put himself about a foot from me again though. So what we're going to do here is probably just scratch this again. Oh yeah. Putting a little bit of weight on him as I scratch here. Good. Let me backtrack. I don't think there is such a thing as spending too much time in this in-between ground and on their back space. This is something that really gets skipped a lot in traditional horse training, and I think it's not to the benefit of any horse to skip that. Okay, so it's looking like he's looking for what he's supposed to do here, so we'll ask him to get a little closer. Good. Love how nice and low this head is. Oh man. That's really good. When they curl up like this. Okay, now, if you notice, I'm at his hindquarters here. So I'm going to ask him with the target here to back, 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 back. Good. Not perfect, and he went a little sideways, but he understood the principle, and we haven't worked on that since before his 3-month break. So I will take it. And training in this way is just so much more fun than like throwing the saddle on them and crossing your fingers and hope that you can ride out their bucks. Getting thrown off into a fence and then having a terrorized horse that you then have to desensitize and cause to shut down rather than being an active participant in their own training and life with humans. So, I don't know, it's so much fun. And back when I was doing pressure and release only training, it was always kind of stressful because you never knew what the horse was going to do. And back then, I didn't know any of their facial cues and body language either, so it was just guessing and trying this and making sure your releases were timed right, but other than that, like, everything was kind of up in the wind and you never knew what was going to happen. He said I'm talking too much, so he's going to go check something else out. That's okay, though. Oh. I hope you guys can see him. He's itching his head with his hoof. Checking out this feed pan. Water. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to wait over here. We're going to see when he feels like coming back. So, in regards to what I was just saying about pressure and release versus, more empathetic and relational and positive reinforcement-based training, do you feel that pressure and release is a little more tense and stressful for you? Many of the trainers that have come from a positive reinforcement, or from a pressure and release, background, they tend to say that when they were training that way, something just didn't feel right. And that's a pretty common thing, and I think that more and more horse people are starting to feel that way. And understand and realize that it's so much more rewarding to have this genuine two-way partnership with the horse versus scaring them into doing whatever you want. So I'm just curious to know, when you were really deep into pressure and release training, or maybe you still are, was there or is there something that just feels off about it, or that is a little uncomfortable, or that you don't really like, but typically we keep doing the things we know. It's a little bit scary to step into the unknown and welcome a new style of training into our lives and into our hearts, because we don't know how it's going to work out. So I'd be interested in hearing that answer from you guys. And Sundancer's just going to drink the entire trough of water. They have water out there, so he must just be extra thirsty right now. And these are the times, like, pressure and release trainers would be working up a lot of frustration right now if their horse just walked off, and they'd be running them around, making them come back and forcing them and all kinds of stuff. But even if he's not interested in resuming the session with me, today was still extremely productive, and we can choose to look at the positive of that he learned to really enjoy me standing on this mounting bucket more than he ever had before his 3-month break. And we did it on the other side, and we worked on touching down his hindquarters and down his legs more than we ever have. So those are all positive growth, and I think positive growth gets missed a lot in pressure and release training because it's so result focused versus, the small steps that in reality are what build and get you to your end goal. So I'm not upset with this, and in a second I'll go see if he wants to rejoin, and if not, that can be today's session. He still learned, and each time that I don't force him to do something that he gets to have a say, that makes him relax even more, and in the future he won't feel the need to leave. And I guarantee you, if he hadn't had a 3-month break, he'd still be right here beside me right now. So I'm taking all of these factors into account. I'm not just saying that he's being bad and not listening, and he needs to be punished and needs to be round pinned and needs to be ran around. I'm not saying any of that. I'm focusing on the good. and the positive aspects of it. And on the flip side of that, some positive reinforcement slash, relationally based trainers also can go into the negative and say, oh, my horse doesn't want to be with me today. Oh, he doesn't like our training anymore, and come to all these conclusions without taking into account the true facts of the situation, which are, this is his third session back after a 3-month break, which is a fourth of a year. So that's a considerable amount of time. So, of course, they're going to lose a little bit of trust in their person during that amount of time, and that is totally understandable. And this is where the empathy really comes in to all this training stuff, and it gets really, really cool because he's allowed to feel that way. I understand. I'd probably feel that way too. Think about if you had a friend and you were best friends and you hung out every single day, and then all of a sudden, excuse me, you don't hear from that friend for 3 months. Well, you're going to feel a little bit awkward when you finally get back together with that friend and they, start acting like they were before. So, that's my 2 cents on the situation about not getting upset if your horse doesn't want to be right next to you at that exact time. It's not the end of the world. Everything's going to be okay. He's just finding things to itch his ears on, so if he'll come back over here, I'd happily itch it. There we go. Good boy. Another factor to consider here is that now he has all the hay he could ever want out there. So he's a little full. He's literally throwing pellets out of his mouth right now. And since I just put that out there about a week ago, horses have what's called compensation grazing. So if they're not allowed to graze for a while, when they are able to graze again, they will gorge themselves because their biology tells them to. He literally didn't even take these. So what we're going to do is we're going to reward with scratches, because I can tell that he's got something going on in here and he's really itchy. Nice, Juniper. Okay. All right. We're just going to work a little bit with the halter today because I feel like, I don't know how long we've been out here, but probably 30 minutes or so. And he seems really hesitant about the halter from the other day. Again, I'm understanding the reason. I'm not getting mad at him and saying, dang it, you are scared of the halter. Why? Why are you scared of the halter? I understand it's because I shoved it on his head too fast and it was too tight and it messed with his ears and it made him feel uncomfortable the other day, and it made him feel uncomfortable to the point where he had to leave, which is a flight response. So it's going to take a couple sessions for us to backtrack out of that. I'll take it, buddy. I'll take it. So I'm really getting the sense today that he'd really much rather just hang out, which is okay with me. In fact, it's kind of a compliment. I see posts all the time about, oh, my horse, I can't catch them, and when I take the halter off, they just run. And I just want to scream because it shouldn't be that way. Your horse should love being around you. And if you treat them right, they do. Any horse. Even if they have a lot of trauma, they can learn. You got an itch under here? Yeah. Oh wow, he's really loving that. All this stuff just depends on, what kind of relationship you want with your horse. If you want a true two-way partnership and a true relationship with true communication and genuine connection, then you have to be willing to take these no's and to let your horse communicate. If I would just, force him to keep going and work on haltering, he'd either leave, he might stay and participate, but tomorrow he's going to be like, she maybe did some stuff that made me do some stuff that wasn't really too fun yesterday. Do I really want to participate today? Versus now, we're getting all these good scratches in, spending some good time together. Tomorrow he's going to be like, heck yeah, I want to go, let's start, let's do a session. And that's what it's about. And then tomorrow we can work on the halter, and his mindset will be ready and will be more positive and willing to maybe do something a little difficult. And also on a positive note, I have not spent this much time on his hindquarters before, and he's not worried about me at all, so that's super positive. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go. I think I have said a lot today about traditional horse training versus relational and empathetic methods, and preparing to sit on him for the first time on our mounting block, preparing for a rider. And that's going to be all for today. If you guys have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments, and I am happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day.